Okie dokie, drawbacks of being an entrepreneur. Well, they're pretty straightforward. Come on, click, here we go. I'm just gonna go ahead and show all of them as opposed to waiting to go through them. Yep, backwards now. All right, so this is a pretty good list. Some of them are kind of related, but certainly among the biggest drawbacks of being an entrepreneur is the uncertainty of income and the risk of losing your entire investment. I have often jokingly responded when somebody asks me what the definition of an entrepreneur is, to say, oh, it's being self-unemployed for big chunks of your life. And that's really very true. You know, now that doesn't mean you don't necessarily have any income, but what that does mean is you don't necessarily know where your money's coming from and when it's coming in. So uncertainty of income is a big deal. If you can't deal with an inconsistent cash flow for your personal life, then being an entrepreneur may not be the best choice for you. Now, the number of entrepreneurs that never experience cash flow issues is pretty close to zero. Most of them experience times when they are very, very stressed financially. This next one, risk of losing your entire investment. I want you to imagine something. Imagine that you've finished school, you've gotten a great job. You've, a really great job. A job so good that not only can you get married and have kids, but 10 years from now, you're married, you have kids, and you have $50,000 saved up. And either you or your spouse have got a great idea for a business. I mean, it's a really great idea. And so you decide, you talk to your spouse and you decide that it's okay for you to go ahead and take, say, $35,000 of your $50,000. Take $35,000 and put it in a business. Now, that leaves you $15,000 in case something happens, you know, some sort of emergency. And with families and kids and all that kind of stuff, that's a realistic possibility. You know, medical stuff comes up, right? So you've taken $35,000 of your hard-earned, hard-saved money, and you put it into a business. They fail. Sometimes yours could. So you're rocking along. You've been in business now for 7, 8 months, maybe 12 months, and things have gotten, they just haven't turned out like you'd like them to. And you're continuing to plug away because you don't want to have that tough conversation. That day when you decide that this just isn't working out. And so you have to go home and tell your spouse, darling, we just lost $35,000. That's no fun. That conversation is going to be one of the toughest conversations you ever have. And so because of that, you've got to be really comfortable with the fact that it's okay if that happens. I'm not saying it's okay to lose money. I'm not saying it's okay to fail. I'm saying that sometimes, even if you don't want it to happen, it happens. And so that's a tough conversation because, you know, why did it fail? Was it you didn't try hard enough? You didn't work hard enough? Your idea wasn't good enough? I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why it doesn't. But nobody wants to have that conversation, especially when you've taken your family's hard-earned money and put it into a business and it's failed. So the risk of losing your entire investment leads to long hours of hard work. So here's the deal. And lower quality of life. Think about this. So you've got a couple of kids, and one of them's in soccer, and one of them is in, I don't know, dance school. Doesn't matter, whatever they're in. The fact is, you got a couple of kids, they're doing stuff, and they have stuff going on Friday afternoon. They have stuff going on Friday evening. They have stuff going on Saturday morning, and in fact, all day Saturday. But you have a choice. And your choice is either to work your tail off and work Friday night, and work Saturday and work Saturday afternoon and miss all that stuff with your kids, or maybe disappoint a client and develop a bad reputation and get less than a stellar review. What are you going to do? Well, because you don't want to lose your entire investment, you actually work incredibly long hours, and your quality of life goes down and your stress levels go up. Because you have complete responsibility. There's literally no safety net. There's nobody to bail you out if things don't go well. And because of that, you can become very discouraged and depressed, and life can look pretty bleak. That's a realistic view of the downside of being an entrepreneur. These are real drawbacks. And another aspect of this is a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't really do a good job of developing a professional network of people that can support them. A lot of entrepreneurs don't have somebody they can call up when times are tough and talk with and brainstorm with, because here's what happens. You come out of the corporate world, and in the corporate world, you've got a person in the cubicle next to you, you've got a person on this side next to you, you've got a manager in the office with a door on it, the glass door on it, or the glass wall right next to you, and there's another one next to him or her, and you've got people around you that are experienced, that you can have a little chat with, that can help you solve your problems. But as an entrepreneur, especially a solopreneur type of entrepreneur, somebody with a really small business, you're the top of the pyramid when it comes to knowledge and decision making. And therefore, it's really important for you to develop a great network of other business people that you make time to network with. Because if you don't, then it becomes even more difficult to solve the problems that you are expected to have the answer to, and often don't. That's part of the ambiguity thing that we talked about early on in flexibility. So there is a real downside to being an entrepreneur. All of this stuff is very powerfully negative stuff.